Hey everyone, it's Bart, and today I'm making a classic basil pesto using an old school mortar and pestle technique of mashing up the ingredients and making a fine paste out of them. Now, when I first tried basil pesto, I didn't care for it at all. It was kind of like a supermarket ready-made style. It was green and had the consistency of salad dressing, and I really didn't like it. And for years I actually went on thinking that it's not something for me. And then I saw Jamie Oliver make his version of a basil pestle using a mortar and pestle technique of mashing everything up. And I thought to myself, I can't imagine not liking this. It uses ingredients that I like. Pine nuts, basil, Parmigiano Reggiano, olive oil, salt, pepper, a little lime juice, and I thought I really have to try this. And the result is what you'll see me make today. It is perfect for putting on top of a linguine, as I'm going to do today, but you can actually serve it a bunch of different ways with chicken, perhaps spread on a steak. There are just a lot of different classical ways of using it. So stick around and check it out, and you'll see my classic way of using a mortar and pestle to make a basil pesto. Cheers. Let's go over our ingredients. I'll be making the pesto inside a pestle and mortar like this one. And to it, we're going to add about half a clove of garlic, very coarse sea salt, coarse black pepper, olive oil, basil, of course. This is right from the garden. And I don't use these pieces. I just use the flat leaves of basil. It's just easier to grind up. Pine nuts and some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, as well as just a little bit of lemon. Now, as you can see, I've got a little bit of garlic in there. It's about half a clove. And I'm gonna add some coarse sea salt, about one good pinch. And then I'm gonna add the basil leaves. And that sea salt is actually gonna help grind up and smash up the basil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pound this down to a paste. So there's the basil in a paste. And the next step is to toast up some pine nuts. So I've actually got those right here, and I've preheated this frying pan. And I'm just gonna drop those in. And you don't want to brown these. You really just want to give them a very light toast because once they brown, it changes their texture, and you really want this to be creamy. And to do that, you just want to let these very slightly just get some heat on them, and you don't want to toast them too much. Well, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but these pine nuts are starting to sizzle away. And if you grab one carefully and taste it, inside they should be almost like buttery. Okay, so that's when we know that they're done, and we can add them to our basil. All right, now we just give them a nice good pounding. And again, as soon as you add those pine nuts, unbelievable aromas start to emanate from this. Okay, now this has been ground down to a very fine paste. I'll show you here. That's what we have. And just a few last bits of pine nuts to grind down, but it's pretty much done. So the next step is going to be to add our olive oil and Parmesan cheese. So we'll put in one really good sized pinch of Parmesan cheese. Actually, make that two. And then we'll add a few glugs of olive oil. And again, we get the pestle going and mix. You can see we've got our coarse black pepper, and we'll just give that one more good mix. Now at this point, you've got an option. You can put in just a little bit of lemon juice to give it a tang, or just a little bit of zing, or not. I mean, if you like the way that this tastes, you can skip that. I'm I'm going to add just a little bit because I find that, you know, we've got cheese and olive oil in here, and I'd like to have some acidity to kind of counterbalance that a little bit. So just give that a bit of a squeeze. There, that's probably enough. And there's the final product for the pasta with the pesto. I just added the pesto sauce, or the paste back in, and I add a little bit of pasta water to make it a little bit more creamy and moist. And now we'll just plate this with the rest of the meal.